Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, Year 7, depending on when you are going to be doing your performing arts work. So we are going to be looking at a theatre design unit. We already started looking at it before the Easter holidays, but we're going to look at it in a bit more detail. So we're going to have a look at what is costume. So I want you to have a think. What is costume? Let's cover it up there. Epic fail, Miss Johnston. So what is costume? Okay, so I hope quite right. It's anything that an actor wears in a performance. So anything that an actor wears, or if you go on to do GCSE or A-level, might be something an actor doesn't wear in performance. So designed by the costume designer. They talk with the director. The director's the person. They have the overall vision for the concept and the overall what they want to communicate overall to the audience and the way they're going to do it. And then so they discuss in a production meeting with all the designers, and they'll discuss with the costume designer their overall idea and their overall concept, and the costume designer will go away, do research, and they will come up with some designs so that at the next production meeting they'll then discuss them with the director. So costume, it's not purely just the clothing that the actors are wearing on their body. So it also includes what I call mummaha. Okay, so you'll hear me saying to the GCSE, mummaha. So it's masks, makeup and hair. Okay, so masks, makeup and hair also come under the role of costume designer. Now, why? What's the point? Why don't they just go, right, yeah, you're playing this character, or just go get some jeans and a t-shirt? Well, the role of the costume, what a costume does is it helps the designer to create the world of the play. Okay, so it helps to create that little world that performance and that play is in that moment. It's a form of communication. Remember, all of theatre is a way of communicating something to an audience. So they want to tell the audience essentially when and where the play is set, or where the play is. So if it's a play set in the Victorian times, then usually there'll be something about the costume that tells the audience, oh, this is set in Victorian times. If it's a play that is set in World War II, there will be something about the costumes that will tell us. Usually they'll have a gas mask box that says to us, oh, that's set in World War II. It doesn't only tell us about when and where the play is set. It will also tell us about the character. Okay, so it'll tell us about what I've called the character's social context. When and where the play is set, historical context. Okay, character's social context, so it'll tell us the character's age. It will tell us maybe the job, maybe a bit about the background, the relationship with other characters and their position in society. So this is we will build on this as we go through into year 8, year 9, and then if you do GCSE and go on to A-level, and then if you specialise in costume design, you'll go into it in more depth. So this is very basic level, but tells the audience these two things: the historical context, when and where, and then the character's social context, so age, job, relationship to other characters, position in society. So an example of this that links to things we've already learnt so far is in Chinese theatre, their makeup is quite stylized. Okay, we might look at it and think, oh, it all looks the same, but the way the makeup is done shows the type of character it is, which we tend to call a stock character. So that's a basic character. So it will tell them what sort of character it is, and usually the status of that character, that's its position in society. Is it a king, servant? Okay. Much like, so this links to the learning that we've done, exactly like the masks that we looked at in our Greek theatre unit. So in the Greek theatre, the masks would tell the audience about the characters. Remember, they were sat quite far away. Okay, so the masks would tell the audience something about the character. So it's exactly the same, and it would be the historical and the character's social context. And also remember those masks, and you may factor this into your costume designs as well, it might tell you the general overall emotional state of the character. So generally how that character is feeling. Are they a sad type of character? Are they a happy type of character? Okay, so for example, Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh, quite a down in the dumps type character. Examples. Okay, I know some of you, we were looking at Goodnight Mr. Tom, and I know lots of you will have looked at Evacuees and Goodnight Mr. Tom in primary school. So Goodnight Mr. Tom, if we take William, the character there, his costume quite usually will be, he'll have shorts on, okay, shorts above the knees, socks that come up to the knee, so you actually see that bit of knee. He'll have shoes, not trainers, shoes, because that's the social context of the time. They would have dressed smart. Back in that era, they were always presentable. But his little grey shorts tell you William is a child. Okay. Gas mask, he'll have gas mask box. Now technically that will come under props, but that's one of the crossovers, because the gas mask box tells us he's an evacuee or he's from World War II. Okay, that says he's from World War II. His jumper and his shorts might be a bit stretched. They might look a little bit worn. That tells us that William is from a poorer background if we compare him to Zach. Zach's in nice bright colours, William's in dull colours. Says William's from a poorer background. We know Mum has her own problems, so quite often she'll neglect him, so he's looking after himself. All of that will factor into the condition of the clothes, and that tells us as an audience a bit of background about William, and we can connect straight away with him before we start to discover his story. Now, I want you to think about, for Matilda, you are going to design your own costumes. Okay, you're going to choose 2 characters and you're going to design costumes for those 2 characters from Matilda. The 2 types I want you to think about are period and modern. Okay, so you've got a period costume, right, which is set in the past. Okay, so our World War II example. So either a historical play or a traditional play. Quite often there are certain plays that are set in a particular traditional time, and there's a way. So if you're doing, next year in year 8 we'll do Commedia dell'arte. So if we're doing masks, there's a particular mask we need to think about. Modern, okay, is set today, and quite often anything stylized will fall under this category. Okay, so if any of you have seen, there's something about Jamie the Musical. Okay, that's fairly modern. Okay, some of it's a bit stylized because it's you've got the drag queen nature in there, so the style of drag queens are quite flamboyant, over the top. So, but that will come in to modern. So it's up to you. So you're designing your costumes. Now there's no strict rules, okay? As long as you can give a reason for why you've designed it the way you have. So in your designs, you need to make sure you are annotating, so not just labeling like blue top. Okay, why have you put that character in a blue top? Put that character in a blue top to show they feel sad. Okay, so I want you to annotate. So you're going to annotate it. Now I'm going to read you a paragraph from this book, which is A National Theatre All About Theatre. It's a very good book. So when you're back in school, you can have a look at this when we go on to learn about this further. So it does say, sometimes the designer might decide to make the costume not from any recognisable historical period, but to keep them simple and plain. This can help make the play seem universal and timeless and encourage the audience to use their imaginations. So that will go in with some Shakespeare pieces. Now that was written 400 plus years ago, okay, but you don't always have to do Shakespeare pieces in the medieval traditional Elizabethan costumes. You can mix it up, okay? So recent Othello, I say recent, it'd be recent for us adults, but for you guys it seemed a long time ago. They were in modern army uniform. Now Othello was written 400 years ago, but they did it in modern. So as long as you can justify, their reason was because the Iraq war was going on at the time, and they were doing it as a comment to the audience on how racism was still prevalent despite the fact that we were in modern day with and commenting on the war. So that's why they used modern costumes, and they put oh, the character's name's just completely gone out of my head. Anyway, they put the female character in. I directed this place, so I should know. They put her in army costume as well. So you are going to design your costumes. Okay, so you've got a sheet of paper with outline on. If you don't like those, you can find your own on the internet if you have access to, or you can draw them if you haven't got access to printing them out. So you can just draw them out. I want you, Year 7, to really focus on how you show the character's personality and the character's social context. Okay, so the age of the character, the job of the character's overall thoughts and feelings. That's what I'm wanting you to do. Okay, so you can, with those, you can either take pictures of them and email your teacher. Now you don't have to email me. If I am not your performing arts teacher, email them to your performing arts teacher. Okay, the majority of you will actually either email me or Mr. Britton. Also, should you do research, now you don't have to do research, but some of you may want to go that extra mile and do a little bit of research into what you think the social context and the historical context might be. You might want to do some research into some ideas for colours, texture, the colour, the condition, the textures. You might want to do some research and do a mood board, which I'm more than happy for you to do. There will be, when we go back to school, I'm going to be looking at all of these, and there will be a prize for the people that have put the most effort in. I'm not 100% sure what that is. It's going to be better than cupcakes. I still know 7B3, we need our cupcakes. Okay, but But you can do that either on a Google slide and share it with me. Now, some of you might not know how to do that. That might be quite difficult. So if mum and dad, if you know, or whoever's at home with you, if they can help you, if not, just do it on PowerPoint and email me, or just do it on a piece of paper if you want to stick things down. Bring it in. You can take a photo of it and then bring it in when we are back at school. Okay? Just have fun with it. The main thing I want you to do, I don't want you to get stressed out with it. I want you to just enjoy having fun designing, okay? So this is what we're going to be doing this week. Next week, we're going to be having a look at set design, okay? So we're going to be having a look at set design. But at the minute, just, you know, chill, pick this up, do it as and when you need to over the week, okay? Put as much effort or as little effort in as you want to. If the more effort you put in, the more likely you are to get a prize at the end, which I've got to sort out. Should be a really good one, fingers crossed. So hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all well, Year 7. And I hope you enjoy learning about costume design and this task. Cheerio. Bye, guys.